really didn't like people saying, you have to do this, you have to do that. We had this saying that there's only two things I have to do, stay black and die.
Yeah.
And that was a retort to people who had these sort of requirements for us, these mandates for us because of our skin color. And the thing that's really kind of interesting.
Okay, hold on. Notice what he is exposing right there. He says these critics operate like a landlord inspecting the property, telling free people exactly how they are supposed to decorate their own minds based on their skin color. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries recently called the conservative court an embarrassment and demanded that Thomas recuse himself from Trump cases. They cannot handle a judge who refuses to obey. Listen to this.
That arise from a health perspective in connection with type 1 diabetes have the awareness and then the capacity to seek the treatment necessary to live a life of dignity and respect. I'm thankful as well for the leadership of Representative Kim Schreier, who is partnering in a bipartisan way with Representative David Joy.
There it is. According to Jeffries and his allies, Thomas is an embarrassment simply because he will not fall in line. But Thomas grew up poor in segregated Georgia. He knows exactly what real oppression looks like. And when he arrived in Washington, he realized the same people preaching tolerance actually expected total conformity. But wait until you hear how he finally answered them. This is incredible.
It wasn't until later on that people began to say that when I came to this town, one of the greatest difficulties, if you think about it, was that there were those who thought that I should think a certain way.
Yeah.
And the difficulty has been that they said that, oh, you're confused. Well, I'm not confused. You're confused. You confuse me with someone who's been in indentured servitude or something.
Read those words again. Tell me I am wrong in the comments, but that is the most devastating comeback I have ever heard from a sitting justice. He told them they are confusing him with someone in indentured servitude. He just reduced their entire worldview to ash. They look at him and see a walking contradiction, as they just reported, solely because he thinks for himself. But the arrogance gets even worse. Watch what they expect him to accept.
But at any rate, they think that here's the way you're supposed to think. Again, here's your skin color. There's this kind of deterministic view that you're supposed to think this because we say so. And I, of course, declined that invitation. And so now that means it's something that I'm a walking contradiction because I've deviated.
I love that phrase. He says he declined the invitation to follow their deterministic view. The media treats him like a traitor, but Thomas is showing everyone exactly how you beat these people. You do not apologize, you do not compromise, you laugh in their faces, and you decline the invitation. He says they actually believe you are supposed to think a certain way just because they say so. And his final point shuts it all down.
From their perception of what I should think. Explain to me how that is different. Here's what I've asked people. I said, when I was a kid, the Savannah Public Library was segregated. I said,
the man survived a segregated library in Georgia only to find a different kind of segregation waiting for him in Washington. They built a box for him, and he smashed it to pieces. He declined that invitation, and he proved that real freedom means refusing to be a tenant in someone else's ideological prison. If you want to see more conservative commentary exposing this exact kind of nonsense, subscribe to the channel and watch the next video on your screen right now.